Amanda. So I'm thinking today we're gonna do some shoulder and hip work. It's gonna be a little different than what I've guided you through before because we're gonna use some props, some blocks. You really only need one. If you don't have one at home, a pillow, a firm pillow, or maybe an extra mat that you can roll up and use rolled up, anything like that. Otherwise, if you don't have one, I know Sports Authority, go out and get one. They're really, really great. They're like $10. Lululemon has them too. But yeah. So anyway, today, make do with what you have. And we're gonna start lying on the back with the block right in between the scapulas, the long way. So lie down on something, whatever you've got, and try to get the block in between the scapulas, and then soles of the feet together, knees are open. So we're gonna hold some poses for a little while today, some deeper holds, and then we'll still flow, we'll still get the body going, warm it up. But see if you can just kind of soften, allow whatever you're using, your block, towel, mat, pillow, to just soften. See if you can kind of let the shoulder blades roll past the block. And breathe. Just kind of soften the belly. It's a nice little back bend too. Notice if the legs are gripping, if you're holding onto the inner thighs, see if you can just kind of bounce the knees up and down a few times. Connect to the breathing. Use this opportunity as a way to shut down any of the to-do list that's still going, any of those thoughts, just so you can be here for the next 45 minutes, completely committed to your practice, to taking care of you. One more breath here. Good, and then slowly just kind of use your elbows to come up. Come into a down dog. Bend the right knee, sink the left heel. And switch, lifting the hips up and back. Gently shake the head yes and no. Inhale, plank. Reaching back through the heels, forward through the crown of the head. You can roll over the fingers and toes a few times. Good, and then exhale, lower. All the way down to the stomach. So the forehead is down. Hands under the shoulders, point the toes, zip up the legs, and inhale, lift for cobra. Little movement, shoulders pulling down the back, elbows in. See if you can soften your glutes so it's not squeezing the butt to hold you up. It's actually strengthening our lower back. Exhale, lower. And then walk the hands forward so the elbows are where the hands just were for Sphinx pose. So the forearms are down, shoulders back. Roll the pubis bone down into the mat and lift the chest. Back of the neck is long, so you don't need to look up. See if you can just kind of look forward and feel the stretch in the abs. Now, traditionally, this is the pose, just looking forward. Now, just kind of breaking it up a little, just kind of let your head go. See if you can kind of feel your shoulders almost sink. Should be a nice stretch in between the shoulder blades. At least that's where I'm feeling it right now. The back of the neck, just let the head be heavy. One more breath. Good, and then kind of come up, back to the traditional Sphinx. Lower the chest, hands under the shoulders, and push back to child's pose. Big toes touch, knees are open. Breathe, soften, melt. Keep working the hips towards the heels. Spread through the fingertips, engaging the hands. And see if you can think about lifting your armpits up, lifting the triceps up, the elbows up, so that just your hands are touching. Staying light in the upper body, walk the hands over to the right. Coming way off your mat, pushing into the right hand to try to pull the left hip towards the left heel. Nice side body opening. Back to center and over to the left. Again, coming way off the mat. I find it helpful to kind of push into the left hand a bit to get a deeper stretch through that right side. All through the lat, the shoulder. Try to push the right hip towards the heel. Back to center. Good, and inhale up. A few cat-cows, so hands under the shoulders, knees under the hips. Inhale, drop the belly. Roll the shoulders and sitting bones up, look up. Exhale, round, tuck the chin in. Inhale. Exhale. Just articulating each vertebrae. One more. Inhale. And exhale. Good. Keep the shoulders stacked over the wrists and just straighten the legs. Coming into that plank again. This time feet are together. Keep the feet together. Right hand under the nose. Roll to the outer edge of the right foot and come up to a side plank. Keep lifting the hips. Turn the top palm to face forward. Reach up over the ear. Breathe. Left arm up, broaden. Lower the left hand. Right into the other side. Modification, you guys know you can drop the knee. Leave out lifting the top foot because we're just warming up here. Breathe, turn that top palm to face forward. Lift the hips a little higher using those obliques. Right arm up, broaden. Lower the hand, plank. Exhale, chaturanga. Inhale, upward facing dog. And exhale, downward facing dog. Look between the hands and walk feet to hands. Inhale, look out, lengthen. Feet can be together or separated. It's up to you. Maybe soften the knees a little bit. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, fold. Breathe. Make sure the heels are slightly turned out, whether the feet are together or not. And slowly just ragdoll up. Head is the last thing to roll up. Coming up to standing. Warming up traditionally with our Surya Namaskaras. So inhale, reach the arms out and up, look up. Exhale, swan dive, fold forward. Inhale, look out, lengthen. Exhale, chaturanga. Inhale up. Exhale back. Breathe, lift the hips. Sink the heels, reaching out of the shoulders, out of the hands. One more. Look between the hands, walk or jump, feet to hands. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, fold. Feet together if they're not yet. Bend the knees, sweep the arms. Inhale, chair. So weights in the heels, getting nice and low. Exhale, fold, Uttanasana. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, chaturanga. Inhale up. Exhale back. Left heel in. Right foot lunges. Inhale, warrior one. Using the inhale to bring the arms all the way up. As soon as you start your exhale, lower the hands. Same exhale, chaturanga. Inhale and exhale. Other side, right heel in, left foot lunges. Inhale. Lower the hands. Same exhale, step back, chaturanga. Inhale. Exhale back, down dog for 5 breaths. Notice the body temperature already rising. See if you can use this down dog as a way to calm down the breath if it got choppy through all that. Reaching out of the hands, lengthening the back, opening up the backs of the legs. One more. Good, look between the hands, come high up under the toes, walk or jump, feet to hands. Inhale, look out, lengthen. Exhale, fold. Feet together, bend the knees, sweep the arms, inhale. Chair pose. So see if you can lift all 10 toes so the weight is in the heels, and then bring the hands to heart center. Elbows wide, hips are low, left elbow to the outside of the right knee. Inhale, lengthen, reach forward through the crown of the head, and exhale, twist. See if you can keep reaching the hips back. Imagine there's a chair supporting you. Inhale, exhale. Good, back to chair, inhale, keep the hands here. Other side, I know those legs are burning, it's okay. We're not here that much longer. Right elbow to the outside of the left knee, inhale, lengthen. Exhale, twist. Inhale, and exhale. One more. Good, unwind into Uttanasana, forward fold. Let it go. You can kind of shake out the legs if that feels good. Inhale, look out, lengthen, separate the feet, hip width. Middle and index finger, hook the big toes for Padangusthasana. Inhale, exhale. Shoulders soft, away from the ears. One more. Good. Now keep the toes hooked. Keep working the belly towards the legs. Just a little Bandha check to see how you're using your core. So see if you can shift the weight into the right foot and bring the left foot out to the left. The hook with your toes and your hand helps. So keep pushing into those big toes. If balance is good today, you'll keep lifting that left leg. Maybe it's hip height. Breathe. Maybe it's just an inch or two, and then you fall out of it and you go back into it. One more. Good. Lower that left foot. Shift. Weight into the left foot. Lift that right leg. One side is noticeably easier, so don't make it mean anything. Doesn't matter. Keep pushing into the big toes. That grip helps. Breathe. One more. Good, lower. Inhale, look out, lengthen. Exhale, fold. Release the toes, kind of shake it out. If your hips are kind of cramping a little, it's okay, we'll get into that. So heel toe the feet apart and bend the knees. Getting into those hips now. Elbows on the inside of the knees. Push the knees back. Lift the chest and drop the hips. Keep rolling the weight into the outer edges of the feet. Broadening the collarbone, softening the shoulders. Now keep the legs strong. Automatically when you move your elbows, your knees are going to want to whoop, drop in. So see if you can keep your legs exactly as they are. Keep that strong stance. Bring the elbows away from the knees. Right elbow under the left for eagle arms, working the palms together or somewhere near that. And then just drop the elbows in and fold. Keep grounding the outer edges of the feet so you're not dropping the knees in. Breathe. Said we were going to get some shoulder work, so here we go. Soften the jaw, the lips. Inhale up. Release the arms, other side. Left elbow under the right. Lift the elbows up, hands away from the face, shoulders down. Keep this as you fold towards the floor. Notice the legs. Keep rolling the knees back. One more. Good, inhale up. Release the arms. Hands to the front of the mat, knees to armpits, Bakasana. So lifting one foot or both. Now the block is helpful here sometimes. If you want to hold on to the block, you can hold it like this with the palms down and start to lean forward. You may not need the block, but it's a nice way to start to lift your feet. Breathe, maybe lifting one foot or both. And then shoot the legs back, vinyasa. Inhale up. And exhale back. Lift the right leg, keeping the hip level, reaching back through that right heel. Knee into the nose, hover, and lunge the right foot in between the hands. Inhale, both arms up. You can lower the back knee if you want. So nice wide legs. Make sure the back foot is way far out so that the heel can come forward. A lot of times I see people with their heel way back close to the floor. I want it forward more so you can take a nice wider stance. Good, and then palms come together, left elbow to the outside of the right knee. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, twist. Shoulders drawing down the back. Inhale. Exhale. One more. Good. Unwind the twist. Inhale, both arms up. And slowly lower the left knee all the way down. Point the back foot. Bring the hands to the lower back and push the hips forward. You can start to look up, creating a little bit of a back bend here. If you want, you can reach the arms up or maybe reach them towards the floor. Good. Inhale, look forward. Tuck the back toes, lift the back knee. Straighten the front foot, or the front leg, excuse me. Keep the big toe down. Pull the right hip back. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, fold. Working the chest close to the leg. One more. Good. Inhale, look forward, bend the right knee. Hands come on either side of the front foot. Keep the shoulders stacked over the wrists and step back to plank. Inhale. Exhale, chaturanga. Inhale up. Exhale back. Good, other side. Lift the left leg. Hip is closed, reaching back to that left heel. Knee into the nose, shoulders forward, hover. Lunge the left foot in between the hands. Inhale, both arms up. Crescent lunge. Again, so you see how I kind of pivot and reach my back foot back more so I can get deeper into the hips. And that heel is still far forward. So see if you can do the same. Palms come together. Right elbow to the outside of the left knee. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, twist. Keep the back leg straight and strong. Shoulders down. Inhale. Exhale. One more. Inhale. And exhale. Good. Unwind. Both arms up and lower all the way down. Point the back foot. Hands to the lower back. Push the hips forward, getting into that back bend. Look up, reach the arms up, or reach towards the floor. Maybe all three. Good. Inhale up. Tuck the back toes, lift the back knee, and straighten that front leg. Getting into that hammy. So keep pulling the left hip back, keep the big toe down. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, fold. So the more you pull that left hip back, the deeper you're gonna feel it in that outer hip. One more. Inhale. Exhale. Good. Bend the left knee, both hands down, step back, chaturanga. Inhale up, and exhale back. Down dog for 2 more breaths. One more. Good, look between the hands, walk or jump, feet to hands. Inhale, look out, lengthen. Exhale, fold. Separate the feet hip width apart. Heels turned out again. Middle and index finger, hook the big toes. Inhale, lengthen. Going into that Padangusthasana again, fold. Working belly to thigh, shoulders soft, elbows wide. There can still be a slight micro bend in the knees. Good, now keep the left toe hooked. Bring the right hand to the right hip. Shift the weight into the right foot and lift the left leg out. Now bring it back. Just lightly tap the foot and slowly come up to standing. If it's too much to keep this leg straight, just bend the knee and come up with the knee. Good, now open up to the left. Breathe. Gaze can go over to the right if balance is good today. Keep lifting up, lengthen. Back to center. And switch the grip, setting up a standing twist. So your right hand is on the outside of the left foot or the knee. It's more important to have a straight spine than a straight leg. So if you feel like you're kind of bending over like this, trying to straighten your leg, don't worry about it. It's better to bend the knee for this twist. Shoulders down, reach back through that left hand. One more breath. Good, look forward, hug the left knee in. Shoulders back and down. Hands to the hips, straighten the left leg. Flex the foot and lower. Good, feet are hip width apart. Inhale, both arms out and up, look up. Exhale, swan dive, fold forward. Setting up that Padangusthasana. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, fold. Shoulders soft. Good, now release the left hand to the left hip. Keep the right toe hooked. Shift the weight into the left foot and come out to the left. To the right. So it's a little different. You notice how important that grip is. It's more challenging without the left toe gripped. Good, lightly tap the right foot and then slowly come up to standing. Shoulder back. Again, you can grab the knee if that's better. Open up to the right. Gaze to the left maybe. Keep lifting up, lengthening. Shoulders down. Back to center. Switch the grip. Whatever you did last time, so I bent my knee. Inhale, lift. Exhale, twist, reaching back. One more. Good. Look forward. Hug the right knee in, shoulders back and down. Hands to the hips, straighten the right leg, flex the foot, and slowly lower. Good. Just kind of shake it out. Inhale, the arms out and up. Exhale, swan dive. Let's move through a vinyasa. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, chaturanga. Inhale, up. Exhale, back. Breathe. Good. Now, shoulders forward. Setting up plank, bring the feet together. Left hand under the nose. Roll to the outer edge of the left foot. This time, right arm comes up. For side plank, we've already been here, right? So nice and strong, you can always lower your left foot, or your left knee, excuse me. Otherwise, see if you can hook the toe this time. Breathe. Keep stacking, working the legs as straight as possible. Those of you with the toe hooked, swing forward, coming into Hanumanasana, half split. You can lower the left knee down. Now this is where a block is handy. This is how I like to practice my splits. So a block either high up or down, you'll know where you're at, right under that right sitting bone. It's going to help to square off the hips. What I don't want you to do is try to get down to the block with open hips. So you see how you can kind of see my left butt. I actually want the butt, there's no better way to explain it. the left hip in line with my right so that you can't see it. So I might actually have to come up more than I need to get square hips. It's going to be a different part, working the hamstring in a different way. Then you can really start to square off those hips. Trust the block, and then you can bring the arms up and maybe fold forward. Breathe. Now, if you're more flexible than I am, you don't need the block. Then great, just keep working those hips. But I find most people, it's really helpful to use these blocks. One more breath. Good. Slowly come up. Release the block. Get that out of the way. Tuck the back toes under, lift the back knee. Now, try to keep both legs straight. The hands are on either side of that right foot. See if you can drag the right foot through. Keep it straight, up, and move through one leg or two leg vinyasa. You can open up that hip, let it feel good, a few circles around maybe, and then lower the right foot. Both feet together, shoulders forward, right hand under the nose, setting up the other side for Vashisthasana, side plank. Lift those hips. Go for hooking that left toe. If you can keep the leg straight and come on up, go for it. I still have to bend my knee sometimes. So keep lifting those hips, breathe. Again, you're using that toe. Keep hooking the toe, and then slowly bring that foot forward. Lower the back knee, use the block or not. So again, the block goes right below that sitting bone. I find it also helpful to keep the back toes tucked under. So it helps to kind of roll this right hip forward. Sometimes it takes a little wiggling to really get the most use out of that block, and then maybe inhale, arms up, and exhale, fold. Breathe. One more. Good. Inhale, look forward. Lift the hips. Get that block out of the way. Tuck the back toes under. So hands are on either side of that left foot. See if you can drag the left leg back and up. And move through a vinyasa. Open up that hip. Can bend the leg, a few circles around, and lower the left leg. Good. Right heel in, left foot lunges, and walk the hands to the center of the mat. Heels out, toes in. Inhale, look out, lengthen. Exhale, fold. Good. Inhale, look forward, walk the hands forward. Now, try to keep your hips heavy, sitting bones reaching back, and reach forward. So you're using the core. Your torso is parallel to the floor. Gaze is down, shoulders soft. Use your core and your inner thighs to inhale, come on up to standing. Good. Release. Interlace the hands behind the back. Inhale, open up the chest, a little back bend. And exhale, fold forward, bringing the hands with you. You can bend one knee or both. Let your head just soften, shake it out gently. Maybe a few neck rolls. Keep working the palms together. One more. Good. Keep the fingers interlaced and inhale. Come on up to standing. Little back bend again, maybe. Good. Release the hands. And then lower to the knees. So we're going into frog. Really great groin, inner thighs, and hip stretch. So we're kind of imagining that we're channeling that inner frog. So if this bothers your knees at all, you want to roll the outer edges of your mat back so you have that extra padding. I'm okay, so I don't need to. Keep flexing the feet. That's going to protect your knees. So toes reaching towards the kneecaps. Then your ankles are behind the knees, and the knees are in line with the hips. Most people think they're going to get a deeper stretch by coming forward on the belly. Nope, it actually is completely changing the pose. So what I want you to do is keep your hips in line with your knees as much as you know how. The way you're going to get deeper into this pose is not by coming forward, but it's by softening your inner thighs and the groin so that your knees can work away from one another. You might be able to come to your belly, but that's only if your knees are in line with your hips. So just kind of let gravity take the hips, soften, maybe your forehead comes down, your hands can be a little pillow. As you learn to release, you'll feel that the knees kind of just inch away slowly as you breathe through this pose. See if you can stay with me. I know the natural reaction is to immediately get out of something that's uncomfortable. But this is what this yoga does. We put ourselves in uncomfortable situations so that we can deal with them better. So we can breathe and stay calm. Two more breaths. One more. Good. Now slowly walk the hands in, tuck the toes, straighten the legs, and push back. Just kind of overexalt the shoulders, working the forehead down. Good, and then walk the hands forward. Let's step back and move through a vinyasa. Breathe. Good, and then turn the right heel in. Left foot lunges, walk the hands back to center. Again, down the middle. Inhale, look at lengthen. Exhale, fold. Hands to the hips. Inhale, slowly come up to standing. Arms come out, right toes out, pulling that left hip back. Inhale, reach towards the back of the mat and tilt for triangle. So I'm just giving you a little break from these deep hip openers. Good old triangle. So keep stacking that left shoulder on top of the right. Inhale and exhale. Good. Inhale, come on up, switch the feet. Right toes in, left toes out, keeping the hips level. Pulling that right hip back. Inhale, reach towards the front of the room. Exhale, tilt for Trikonasana. Breathe. One more. Good. Inhale up. Left toes in again. Inhale, both arms up. Exhale, fold down the midline. This time we're going into full straddle split. So the outer edges of the feet stay connected to the mat. Your feet stay square. So try not to, your toes naturally want to roll out. Keep them square. You can lower to the forearms. Keep the hips in line with the feet. Breathe. Grounding the outer edges of the feet, rolling those heels out. One more breath. Good. Now come on up onto the hands and as gracefully as possible, lower to the sitting bones. However you can get there. Good. So keep flexing the feet, rolling the toes back. So again, we're working a different part of our hips. I love using the block here because I have the tendency to kind of hyperextend my knees. So by using the block, it's gonna help me not do that. So if you have a block, bring it right in front of your pubis bone and think about walking forward. And if anything's gonna touch the floor first or the block, it's gonna be your belly button. So most of the time people try to drop and get their forehead down. Nope, don't do that today. Think about lengthening as you walk forward. Keep the feet active, rolling the toes back. Breathe. So this is not one of my favorite poses. I usually don't do it very often. And that's the very reason I should, right? Oftentimes we go, and I know in my own practice I do all the poses I love to do. I rarely come to these poses that I'm not very good at. So there's my work this year, right? It's a balance. We can still do the poses we like, but gotta incorporate some of those uncomfortable ones. So keep flexing the feet, rolling those toes back, lengthening forward. Breathe. Maybe you want to soften the neck. One more breath. Good. Slowly walk the hands in. You can ditch the block. And then right shoulder to the inside of the knee, left arm up and over. Now right here, this left hip wants to pop up. So I like to kind of try to drop that left hip, and you'll feel it way differently in this left side waist. I even kind of push into that hip because a lot of times it takes force to keep that hip down. So try to keep both sitting bones down and then lift the left arm up and over. If it's just not happening today, it doesn't matter. You're just gonna feel more when you drop that left hip down. Turn the gaze up, breathe. It's a really deep stretch, enjoy it. One more. Good, inhale up, other side. Left shoulder to the inside of the knee, right arm up and over. Again, you can try to keep pushing that right hip down. Gaze is up under the right arm. Breathe. Toes still reaching back. Last one. Good. Inhale up. And then swing right foot to left. Let's move through vinyasa. Cross the ankles, roll over the knees. Chaturanga. Exhale slowly. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Good. So from down dog, look between the hands, walk or jump all the way through, coming into Dandasana. I like my heels on the mat because it hurts the hard floor. So if you want to scoot back, go for it. Peel the flesh away from the sitting bones. Inhale, both arms out and up. Flex the feet, rolling the outer edges of the feet back, grounding the sitting bones down, lifting up through the crown of the head, and exhale, fold. Paschimottanasana. Softening the shoulders, the neck. One more. Good. Inhale up. Right leg stays straight. Left foot to the right inner thigh. Peel the flesh away from the right hip. Now, I like to use the block here. This really only applies to people who can go and grab the right foot. So if you can touch your right foot in Janu Shirshasana, then this is for you. If not, don't even worry about the block. Just keep reaching towards your foot. If you can go past your foot, it's nice to use the block on the sole of the foot, pushing the big toe into the block, and then you can reach the hands around the block and get a deeper stretch. So inhale, look at lengthen. Exhale, fold. Keep pulling the right ribs back, the left ribs forward. One more. Good. Inhale up. And just switch legs. Peel the flesh away from that left hip. Go for the block if you know you can go past this foot. Inhale. Exhale, fold. Again, really using the block to square off your foot. You're going to feel all kinds of little tiny muscles. I know I didn't know I had. Inhale. Keep working the belly over the quad. Shoulders soften. One more breath. Good. Inhale up. Soles of the feet together. Now, if you're super tight and you feel like your back is always rounding in these poses, it's helpful to lift, to elevate your hips and sit on a block. So, if you feel like you have really bad posture and you're always rounding here, think about you sitting on a block, and it's going to help lengthen the lower back. You can grab the ankles, grab the big toes, and then slowly fold forward. Breathe. Try not to round the back. Keep pulling the shoulders back. Maybe keep the elbows in close to the body. One more. Good. Inhale, come on up. Cross the ankles, vinyasa. Good, and then lower to the knees. We're setting up hero pose, virasana. So if you have any knee issues at all, ignore me. You can just do one leg, trying to get a quad stretch, or you can stand up and just grab one foot for this. So please do not compensate your kneecap for this pose. If your knees feel it, they're kind of talking to you, but it's not like super pain, you may have a block that helps you. You can sit on the block, and that's going to help alleviate the knees. And then you can lean back and hopefully get a quad stretch there. My knees are good. So if you're like me, you can peel the calves out of the way, drop to the sitting bones. This might be plenty. You want your knees rolling in. Now, I do feel it a little bit in my knees when my knees touch, so I just kind of separate the knees. Whatever, we know traditions, we know rules, but there aren't many rules in yoga. So find what works for your body today. You want the tops of the feet down. So many of my students always say, I really feel it in my ankles. It's just because that's an area that needs to be opened up. So if you're feeling that, it's totally normal. It's okay. If you're not feeling much in your quads and you need to get deeper into the pose, you can start to walk onto the forearms, or maybe come all the way into Supta Virasana, reclining. So this would be the full pose. You can grab opposite elbow above the head. Breathe. Keep working the ribs in. One more breath. Good. Now, you can slowly come out of it that way. If you can do a fancy transition, just kind of untuck your feet and stay lying on your back. If not, just come up and then meet us on your back. However you can get there. So hug the knees in, rock a little side to side, and then lower the feet onto the mat. Feet are hip width apart. Lift the hips for bridge. And kind of rock the shoulders underneath the back, lifting those hips, rolling the knees together. The big toes are slightly turned towards one another. And then pull the chin away from the chest. I like to make sure I can always grab my ankles. If I can, then I know I'm in the right spot. If not, you may have to kind of pull your shoulders under more. One more breath. Good. Slowly lower. Hug the knees in. We're just going to do one back bend today. And then Both legs straight up in the air, hands next to the hips. Tuck the chin in. Keep flexing the feet, reaching out of both heels, and lower the left leg halfway. Reach up towards that right ankle, bringing the chest with you. Shoulders back. Keep lifting up. Good, and then lower the shoulders, lower the left heel. Hook the middle and index finger to that right big toe. Left hand onto the left hip and open up to the right. Now, if you feel like you're kind of heavy in this right leg, you can use a block to kind of take the weight out of that right leg so you can really soften into this. And then you can really work that left hip down. The more you work this left hip down, you're going to feel it in a whole different spot. Breathe. And then use that hook on the big toe to use your core and the inner thigh to bring that foot back up. Switch the grip and twist over to the left. You can keep the leg straight, you can bend it and grab the knee. Super flexy people, if you want to bend the left leg, grab the left foot with the right hand and work the knees away from one another. It's a nice twist too. Breathe. Good, release. Hug both knees in, both legs up. And then hook the left big toe, or not yet, sorry. Lower the right leg. Keep both heels flexed, both legs as straight as possible. Climb up that left leg, breathe. Shoulders back and down. Lower the right leg, the shoulders, hook the left big toe. Right hand onto the right hip and open up to the left. Again, to kind of unload that leg and soften into this pose, you can use the block to kind of unload the weight. And then keep pushing the right hip down. Reaching out of both heels, let this feel good. One more. Using the core, the inner thigh, bring that leg up and over to the right. Switching the grip, bend the knee, or grab the opposite foot. Gaze over to the left, one more breath. Good, and then release both feet. Hug both knees in, just for one last hug. Shoulders back and down. Make yourself into a tiny little popcorn ball. Tighten everything. Tighten your lips, the eyes, the ears, the toes, the fists, and then just open up for final Shavasana. Let the palms fall open, the feet flop out. Just kind of shake your hips a little. And let the breathing just flow in and out of the nose, the mouth, to soften. Something over your eyes maybe. Just give yourself a few moments to let all that work you just put in be absorbed physically, mentally, emotionally. Even if you only do half the class, but you do this Shavasana, you're practicing yoga. So just kind of let go of the physical space. See if you can feel the support of the floor. Allow the belly, the chest to just rise and fall without trying to control it in any way. You guys always know you can stay here as long as you want. I encourage you to do that. If you're ready to join me in a seated pose, then slowly start to wiggle the fingers and the toes, reaching up over the head. Hugging the knees in. Rock up and down, side to side. Coming into a comfortable seated position. Sealing our practice with gratitude. So thank you for tuning in, for allowing me to guide you through your practice, for maintaining the discipline it requires for this practice. May you have a beautiful, blessed day. Rest peacefully tonight. See you next week. Namaste.